Hey there, Todd Toback here, and man, we had an awesome coaching call today. And for those of you who missed it, man, don't miss the next one. But I just want to review some things that we spoke about, and I also had some unanswered questions at the end because we ran out of time. This was a marathon. But man, I had to share it. I was really inspired by you guys today and the students out there making it happen, and really jumping out in courage in spite of their fears. So I'm going to do a little summary here, and then I'm going to answer some questions from somebody who didn't get to ask their question in the coaching call, so I wanted to follow up and follow up my promise. But here are 5 things that we talked about that I think are going to have a major impact on your business. And if you were on the call, it's going to be a great review. So number 1 is laser focus. Do not get distracted. If you decided to get into wholesaling and you've picked a marketing strategy, you want to listen to one person, right? Do not be in multiple forums and multiple groups and buying multiple courses. That's going to lead to overwhelm, confusion, and watered down results, okay? If you take the sun and it beams down on the earth, okay, it'll go 70 to 80 degrees, right, on a hot summer day. If you take a magnifying glass and it will burn, okay, and create a fire, okay, with no previous flame, okay? Laser focus, listen to one person, one strategy, okay, and do what you're told. If you paid for coaching, listen to your coach. Number 2 is I had a question about direct mail, and someone said, is direct mail dead? And the answer is no, direct mail is not dead. I'm in one of the most competitive markets in the country, San Diego, and we still use direct mail. Is it more challenging? Yes. Is there more competition? Yes. However, ironically, because of that, a lot of people bow out and give up and lose all their momentum, and you're going to be the only person left standing. The other thing that I would emphasize is that if you're an outlying market, a B market, really competition is not really a factor. We're seeing a lot of success from students from small lists generating 5-10 times their marketing budget. In the higher end markets like Miami or San Diego or LA, you still can definitely do deals, but the money from direct mail in those tougher end markets are going to be in the follow-up. You're going to have to nurture those leads and spend time with those sellers and get them to know, like, and trust you and do business with you because they believe that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And if you build that relationship, okay, then you will get the business. Your job through direct mail is only to generate a phone call and then use your sales process, no matter how long it takes, okay, to get that deal. Now you can shorten that, and that's another topic, through using commitments and challenging sellers to take action on what their end goal is, okay? And I teach a lot about that in our Bigger Deals program. You want to button things up. But the answer to this is direct mail is not dead, okay? Don't run for the hills. 3, and by the way, we're about to do our second biggest deal in company history off a direct mail lead, and that's closing tomorrow. Number 3 is expect more. Okay, if you're going out there expecting $5,000 assignment fees, guess what? You're going to be making $5,000. If you're expecting 25, 35, 45, okay, that is what you're going to start to attract. So raise your standards. Okay, the people who are really doing well in this business have decided what they're willing to work for. Okay, and what kind of business what kind of revenue their business generates. Okay, and so if you expect more, if you ask for more, you will get it. The other part about this is, let's see here. Oh, okay. We had 1 or 2 people who are struggling, right? And I can tell you that if you are taking action and moving forward every single day and doing the habits that you're supposed to be doing, okay, is that your business is starting to develop roots underneath the soil, right? A bamboo tree actually it does not show any kind of growth for 5 years. And then all of a sudden at year 5, this thing grows exponentially, right, in a matter of weeks. And so if you're taking the right action, if you're mailing, if you're following up on your leads, if you're going out on appointments and building rapport with sellers, guess what? Your business will explode. Don't get distracted. Continue to market. Go out there and do some outbound calling if you have to in between your mailings. but your business will take off. It takes diligence and it takes consistency to really have a successful business. And I can tell you that wholesaling is treated me very well. It has treated the community in this coaching group that we have in the tribe extremely well. And if you're struggling, go out there and stay consistent, and it will happen. But the key word is consistency. So I hope that helps. Finally, last question is from Scott W. And he's a new student. And he says he's 2 weeks practicing the seller script, calling on Craigslist and Section 8 listings. And that is okay if you don't have any money for marketing. If you have no mailing budget, I would consider partnering with someone to get a mailing budget. Right? There's no excuses. There's no excuse for lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. So you can call Craigslist and Section 8 listings, but I would get some direct mail out if you could. Okay. You made a cold call this morning where the landlord tested me when I got into a little tell me more about the property question. His response, you're calling me, want to make me an offer and you don't know about the property. The guy sounded skeptical. Long story short, it was a multi-unit building and he wanted $500K cash and wanted a proof of funds letter. So the question, okay, is basically we got a seller here that bullied, right, Scott. He says, who are you? Why are you calling me? You sent me this postcard, right? Send me proof of funds even before I talk to you. And so if you're a new wholesaler, you know, this guy probably railroaded you. And don't worry, it happens to the best of us. It happened to me when I first get started. And so what I would tell you is don't let that happen to you. Okay, and the way that I would handle it is through a series of questions. So one of the things that I do when I get a seller like this, or I train our acquisition specialists to do this, is if they get a call and someone's like, tell me about the property. I'll say, hey, you know what? Like, I send out a lot of these postcards, and I just wait to see who calls me back. Right? Is there a particular reason why you decided to call me back today? Right? And then I zip it. Very, very, very important. Just shut up. And shut up until it's uncomfortable. Now, what I did there is by asking a question and throwing it back to the seller's court, is I now took control of that conversation. So when he asked you for a proof of funds letter, or you called me and he started railroading you, is that he took control. So one thing I like to do is if you get caught up and a seller is starting to ask you any kind of questions, or is you're losing control, or you're feeling like you have to defend yourself, then immediately ask a question and be like, hey, you know, I'm just confused. I sent out a bunch of these cards. You got it. You called me back. And, you know, I'm just wondering why you called back. I mean, do you have an interest in selling? If that doesn't work, sometimes I'll say, hey, you know what? Like, we work with people who really have a different kind of motivation to sell. Usually they're looking for speed and convenience. And I'm getting the vibe right now that you're really just not that interested in speaking with me. And then, zip it. And listen. And take control, right? Don't be scared to say, hey, you know, it doesn't sound like you're even too happy that we're on the phone. Is there even a reason to continue, right? Then, you know, let's say the guy is saying, hey, give me a proof of funds, right? You could say, hey, you know what? Let me ask you. Is there a reason why you're asking me for a proof of funds so early in the process? And then zip it. Right? Take control. And if he says, well, I just got to make sure that you can close. Say, great. Well, I'll tell you what. You know, I'm not even 100% sure this is a property that I'm even interested in. Right? See, I'd be reluctant. I'd back away. Right? And I'll tell you what. If you and I can come to an agreement, which I'm not even sure we can, right? It doesn't sound like you're even all that happy to speak with me. You know, I'll be glad to arrange a proof of funds letter once we have decided that we're a good fit and a good match. Is that fair? Yes, that's fair, right? And so you want to just take control, ask questions, be non-confrontational, right? You don't want to yell, you don't want to scream. You know, if someone's yelling at you, right, just ask a question and take control. Right now, not every seller is going to be in love with you. Not every seller is going to be moved to do business with you. It sounds like this guy is not all that motivated, but he may be. And the way that you find out is by asking questions and taking control. And if you lose control, that's okay, right? If you get beat up on a call, that's okay, right? Step up, right? Get back up, ask a question, and then take back control. So hopefully that helps. You know, someone asks, last question here, he says, how would you have handled that seller whose barrier to entry is having a proof of funds letter for a specified amount? You know, and it says, you know, do I move on or talk to a hard money or private lenders to have something, as this guy could have been a good cash buyer, and he said he has many properties of all sorts. You know, the biggest thing is I'll ask a question. I want to make sure this guy is actually looking to speak with me. And if I sense that confrontation, right, and he's just fighting me every step of the way, guess what? I'm just going to back away, and I'm going to get out of there, okay? And so hopefully that helps. Guys, thank you so much for the call. Leave a comment below, and I look forward to I'm not going to be coaching all the time. Today was kind of a neat thing for me to get to do, so I want to thank Tommy and the rest of the crew for giving me that opportunity. But it was a great time, so thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the next coaching call.